And hello everybody, I'm RuudDevil, and on the back of my Shadow of War trailer review, a lot of you requested that I review the gameplay trailer of Shadow of War. And given that it's March 8th, and given that the gameplay trailer is out, and given that I've watched it about 4 times, and my sperm count is now low, let's get into the review! So, I've taken the feedback from the first video. I will not get Graugs and Caragors mixed up, so thank you to the 80 million of you that corrected me on that. But I'm going to try and not repeat myself as much as I did in the last video, and also try and not pause it as much, because I recognize that breaks it up. If you haven't seen the gameplay trailer before, then there will be a link in the description, so you can watch it uninterrupted there. But this is going to be a deconstruction of the trailer, so here we go.
Shadow of War is an epic third-person open-world action RPG, and the sequel to the award-winning Shadow of Mordor. This walkthrough takes place many hours into the game, where we will show you one example of the epic, personal stories created through the next generation.
So, sorry to pause it so early, but you can tell by that massive spire that we are in Minas Ithil. This is Minas Ithil. You can tell from what's going on that there is a fight going on, obviously, with the destroyed rooftops and fire raging everywhere. So, I'm wrong already. I was certain that it was going to be a flashback. I was certain that it would flashback. You either get to watch it as a cutscene, or you get to play it, and then it just snaps you back to the present time. But no, it seems that if we go back, we do actually get to assault this whole place, which is freaking insane. I mean, look at this. Does that not excite you? Right there, just with that. You can tell at the bottom there, the gate is smashed, the orcs are coming straight in, and the fact that we actually get to attack this, I was certain it was going to be a flashback. The fact that we actually get to attack this, I mean, that is just so damn cool. I can't wait to do that. I mean, look at this. This is clearly after, and if you remember from the original trailer what it looked like before, look at the change. It's completely fallen into ruins. This is sort of where it confuses me, though, because Sauron and his Nazgul led most of these campaigns, if not all of them. So, if we get to assault it, are we playing as Talion there, or are we someone else? I'm not really sure how it's going to go. That's the part that confuses me. But the fact that we actually get to besiege it, because I was certain that we weren't going to get to do that. Oh man, I'm so excited. So excited.
Into the game, where we will show you one example of the epic, personal stories created through the next generation of the revolutionary Nemesis System.
I'm gonna have to pause it again because it says Osgiliath right there, the city of the stars, the ancient capital of the kingdom of Gondor, which has fallen into ruin since the assault by the forces of the Witch King. Now, Warner Brothers, Warner Brothers and Monolith, if you're watching, I highly doubt you are, but if there's like one of you maybe on your lunch break watching this, if I buy this game and we get to assault Osgiliath, I'm going to lose my shit. I am going to lose it hardcore. If I play this game on day one, and I boot it up, and we get to assault Osgiliath, and we run into the Witch King there, and he's killing Gondorian soldiers, and we're like, dude, no, stop. If we actually get to have a one-on-one duel with him, I'm going to lose my shit. I'll probably just pause the game and scream at the top of my lungs out of the window, and just disturb all my neighbors. Alright? I love how they just sneak that in as well, because Osgiliath is not in Mordor, it's freaking in Gondor. I love how they just sneak that in. It's like, oh yeah, the war for Mordor has begun, by the way, here's Osgiliath. I mean, that's amazing. And look how close we are to the City of Kings. I highly doubt the City of Kings is in the game, but if there is something that we can do there, then it's going to be freaking majestic. And this isn't like hype, no one paid me to say this. I wish I was, but no one paid me to say this. This is not exaggeration, this is not embellishment. I am genuinely excited as all hell at the possibilities here. So, if you look in the top left as well, it says quest log, which means you will have different quests. It's sort of, I mean, they described the first game as a sort of RPG, but it really wasn't that much of an RPG. So hopefully with this one, they're really going to pour in more RPG aspects to it, and they've added a quest log to kind of show that.
To save Middle-earth, we will be journeying deep behind enemy lines and using the new Ring of Power to forge an army and conquer Mordor from within.
Alright, so this whole game, essentially Sauron's adopted a sort of a fortress policy, similar to Adolf Hitler in 1943. Now, it didn't really go that well for him. The Soviets just encircled him. But it seems that it's going to try and work out for Sauron. So this whole game is you get to besiege strong points and fortresses, and with the help of the Nemesis system and with all of that, there really is a lot of variety here, because obviously each fortress will be made up differently. They'll have different defenses, different overlords defending them, and you'll have different ways to attack in terms of, well, which is sort of determined by the army you have with you. Now, if that's not a gameplay mechanic that interests you, then I think you should probably quit gaming, because that is freaking awesome. So we can see here, this is Cirith Ungol. You can see there with that massive tower that that's clearly Minas Morgul now. And there are several other fortresses scattered around Mordor. And again, no embellishment, I cannot wait to besiege all these strong points, and I can't wait to see just the variety that goes into it.
On the world map, we see the many regions we can conquer. Every one of these regions is a distinct environment with unique enemies and allies, including overlords, war chiefs, captains, followers, fortresses, strongholds, missions, and more. Today, we're going to attack and conquer the mountain valley of Saragost.
So yeah, in the first trailer, I said that I wanted it to be like a Battlefield Mordor. You had front lines, you had clear objectives to take and capture, and it seems that for the most part I was right. I don't know, there's going to be, I don't think you'll be able to run around the entirety of Mordor. I don't think. If it is, then it's just ridiculous. But I think there'll be, obviously you've got these fortresses, but then there'll be set areas around each fortress that are like missions that you need to complete in order to get to besieging the fortress. Because that would make more sense. You need to clear the way to get to the fortress before you can actually attack it. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's just such a huge step up from the first game, such a huge step up, and it's just amazing that they managed to keep this all under lock and key. I mean, it's not until last week we knew this game existed, and then this has all just come out of nowhere. So, it's not really a Battlefield where you have to draw, like, front lines and things like that, but it is the next best thing, and that's perfectly fine with me. So in this trailer, or in this little gameplay overview thing, we're going to be attacking the fortress of Saragost, which I've obviously never heard of. I'm guessing it's a real place, but honestly I've never heard of it. And you can see here on the right-hand side, you've got the Overlord, you've got Hagon the Dragon. Hey, I didn't give him the name. And then you can tell that Mozu Deadeyes, his name is in blue, which leads us to believe that he's obviously on our team. He's like a spy we've implanted on the enemy team. So you could actually infiltrate the ranks as you could do in the first game, and you could thus make a siege easier for you. And then the other three are clearly like the big war chiefs. So the battles here are bigger and better than the first game, because in the first game you had those 4 war chiefs, and they were just in random areas. But now we've got fixed emplacements, and not only are there war chiefs, but there are massive overlords, which will vary just as much as the Nemesis system itself. So, I mean, it's just going to be so much fun. Like, all the different permutations with who you can ally yourself with and who you can fight. I mean, it's really extraordinary if you think about it.
And take it from Sauron's overlord, Ur-Hakon, the Dragon Lord.
And he carries a flame cannon, why not?
Let's launch the assault. It's not only our enemies and the world that make the Nemesis system unique, it's also our followers. Ragdug the Iron Mount has armored cavalry that can charge through the flames of artillery fire. The Demolisher is a living battering ram with the power to smash enemy defenses.
So this is what I'm talking about already with the variety. You've got a cavalry guy that can smash through enemy artillery, and then you've got this guy. Now, if you remember in the Battle of the Five Armies movie, you had that one troll that was a living battering ram, and everyone I spoke to says they hated that part. They said it was dumb, it made no sense. I, on the other hand, I loved that part. I loved how they used a troll with a freaking massive, like, pointy stone block on his head to smash through the walls of Dale. That seemed exactly what orcs would do in a siege. That seemed hilarious, and I love that. I'm so glad they've incorporated it into this game. They got this massive, like brutish troll to just smash down the lands, and I'm actually glad that they've just brought back regular trolls, because the Graugs are cool, but they were a little feral. They didn't seem like they belonged in the armies of Mordor. So I'm glad that they're going back to this kind of stuff.
With our followers at our side, we must first face the Stormbringer.
The bright Lord. I fought for you, bled for you, and you left me to die. But I was reborn with the power of the Dark Lord.
He has a history and personal grudge against us. He used to be part of our army before he betrayed us and joined the Dark Lord. He also carries a dark curse, which prevents us from using the power of the new ring.
Come, charge into the flames of your reckoning. Ignite!
The Overlord has deployed multiple fort defenses, including siege beasts and flame archers.
No more talk! We bring war!
Do I really need to say anything at this point? I honestly don't. I don't know why I paused it. I don't. That was just amazing. He's called the Demolisher, and he screams, "We need war." I mean, it's well done, Monolith. You've nailed the freaking character in this.
Our first objective will be to break through the main gate.
When I first saw that bit, it seemed a little cheap that he could just scale the entire wall. But then again, I think for just making it a fast-paced experience, if you were just sitting outside the wall waiting for your troll guys to smash down the gates, it would get a little stale. So I can understand this bit. Also, if we go back a bit to when it showed the levels of the Defender Fortress and the Attacker Fortress, clearly when you build up your strength, when you build up your armies, you get a level, and that represents the strength of your army. And if there's too big a difference, then that would obviously determine how difficult it is. So, I mean, you could store up your army strength and make sure that it's an easy experience, or if you want more of a challenge, you could just attack with underwhelming strength and just try and carry it as the one-man army Talion we know him to be. I don't think I need to talk about how he's got that Bright Lord part of him. That's clearly stemming from the ring that Celebrimbor made for him. Whether Celebrimbor, like part of his soul or whatever, it still resides in the ring, because we saw in the trailer that he was like whisked away by a shadow. It all remains to be seen, so I'm not going to delve into it because it'll just be purely speculation. But obviously, all those Wraith powers are stemming from the ring in this one. So there's the Shadow Strike from the first game. It seems to use a lot of the execution animations as well.
You feel it, don't you? This is the...
And we're just going to pause it right here. I'm going to try and talk as it plays from now on, because we're only 4 minutes in, and I'm sure you guys are getting annoyed at that. But if you look at Talion's face here, he seems to look awfully corrupted by something. I don't know if that's the dark necromantic magic from this guy, or if that's originating at something else. Again, that's just speculation. I don't really know. I'm thinking it's resonating from him rather than Talion. Or it could be that the ring itself is sort of corrupting him, which could be sort of like an underlying story in this tale. Like, the more you use the ring, the more you progress, the more it corrupts you. I don't know how many of you kind of picked out his face there, but that would be quite interesting to see as well. Also, you'll notice, just looking at Talion's face and the size of his hands, they seem to have got the proportions right. Talion doesn't look like a massive weirdo. He hasn't got the Marcus Phoenix hands. He looks like a well-proportioned man of Gondor. And that was something that was so simple that was done wrong in the first game, and I'm glad they rectified it for the second one.
Power of the Dark Lord. Yes. Come to me. Suffer me now!
And I freaking lost it. Let this be the moment. I'm gonna start pointing out the moments where I lost it. I absolutely lost it. The first part is where I saw Osgiliath. That's where I lost it. The second time I lost it was here, when he starts beating him with Celebrimbor's smithing hammer, and then flips it round and takes out his fucking eye. You can see what I mean by now in the last trailer, when I said that Monolith prefer a gritty and dark Lord of the Rings. You can see there's blood and gore and guts everywhere in this one, and I'm not sorry for it, I freaking love it. But smashing his face in with a smithing hammer is just I'm just gonna make that sound now from now on. Oh man.
With the Stormbringer defeated, we've broken the curse and can unleash our power as the Demolisher breaches the gate, allowing our army to storm the fort.
I love him. I love him. I love him even more. Just on a real quick side note, this mechanic where time slows down in mid-air when you're shooting your bow, I don't think I've ever seen that in a game before. And yet in 2017, including this game, there are now 3 games that do it. You got Breath of the Wild, you got Horizon Zero Dawn that does it, and now this one. I mean, what the fuck's that? Did they all just go into one big meeting like, you know what we need right now? More quickscoping? No. Time slows down mid-air. Dude, nice. I'll take it. So there, he's able to make copies of himself, sort of like a Naruto clone jutsu, and he's able to take out multiple enemies at once. That's a new ability, I really like that. There are so many orcs on screen, such a massive epic battle, and this is just one fortress. Oh, it's so good. I'm really impressed. Really impressed.
There are many ways to conquer a fort, from open combat to stealth and infiltration.
So this seems to me like a perk, like you get a stealth kill on one and it will automatically stealth kill the guy next to you. And you've got another ability where you sort of like do the scorpion, get over here, pull.
Infiltrated a spy within the enemy ranks. Deadeye has placed explosives, allowing us to sabotage the wall and outflank the defenders.
So again, we said that there was someone that infiltrated the base, and he's helped us out by placing explosives there. If we didn't do that, then we'd have to find another way to breach the wall. And you can see just from that little change, just how much it impacts the siege. And that's what excites me most of all, is just the potential for a different gaming experience from fortress to fortress and also from player to player. So like you go to your friends, like, oh, how did you besiege this? Oh, I lit some guy's ass on fire. Oh, cool, I did this. You know, that is genuinely fun gameplay mechanics. And I think we should all thank Monolith for that. And he's returned, and he's missing an eye.
The spy is also able to help clear the way by sniping enemies. In Shadow of Mordor, the Nemesis System created memorable stories of bloodshed and revenge. In Shadow of War, your followers can create entirely new stories of loyalty, betrayal, rivalry, and even friendship.
So I really like that change. It's that natural evolution of the Nemesis System. I like the idea of you breeding loyalty. Like, these orcs serve you now, and they will never betray you. I also like that tidbit they gave about friendship, how you could actually befriend some of your war chiefs and develop an attachment to, so if they die, it actually has meaning to you. Now, that may seem strange for other people, because they're like, oh, a ranger who's a bit of a weirdo now. Befriending an orc, that makes no sense, but just from my personal standpoint, I was always someone who wanted Bilbo to be friends with Smaug and just kill everything. So I'm a bit weird like that, but I like this natural evolution of the Nemesis system. I like how you could actually develop a bond with your war chiefs. I like that. It's sweet. It's sweet. Sweet's kind of the wrong word. It was that sort of like devalues the whole thing. But you know what I mean. It's nice to form an attachment and have like a legion that you care about. And so if one of your guys dies in battle, it means something to you. I like that.
Gotcha.
And there, he's taken out one of the warlords for us.
Nice shot.
We've expanded the RPG systems in Shadow of War enormously. Defeating Stormbringer allows us to collect this epic armor of Rohan and equip it.
Alright. Point number 3 when I lost my collective shit. The Rohan armor. Are you shitting me right now? Like, there better be a dev watching to answer these, because these aren't rhetorical. Are you shitting me right now? We actually get to equip Rohirrim armor. Look at that chest piece. Look at that chest piece and you tell me that's not awesome. Look how much of a badass he is. Look, killing things is fun. Out of context, that sounds pretty weird. But killing things while looking like a freaking Lord of Rohan is even better. And I'm calling it now. I hope to God we get the silver elf armor. The silver with the crimson cape, I hope we get that. I know he's a man, but oh man, I want that armor so badly. And maybe if you could throw in some dwarven armor too, maybe some regal Thorin Oakenshield armor, I'm not going to complain. Really not going to complain. And honestly, if you want people to buy this, you put that as a pre-order bonus. And I know people are going to yell at me for encouraging a pre-order bonus, but I mean, the potential here again, just these armor pieces. I mean, yeah, look, yeah, it's almost like like any other RPG where you equip new stuff. It's got a level, it's got all these different bonuses. So this one gives us poison immunity. I don't care about any of that crap. I just want to look freaking cool, and that Rohirrim armor looks amazing. I also like how these sieges are in stages. There's different walls you have to breach.
I am usually the forgiving soul, but Stormbringer, he was mine, and you've stolen my tail. It's time to dance.
Also, he's doing the Joker dance. I don't know if Mark Hamill is voicing that orc right now. I've got no problems with it. The more senile orc, the better in my eyes. And the boiling oil drops on your beloved Demolisher. Moment number 4, when I lost my collective shit. Baby Grond. Now, he covered him in oil, and I assumed it was boiling oil, but then the way the Demolisher sort of shed it out, he didn't really care. I was like, oh, maybe it's not boiling. And then the gates open, and you see Baby Grond. Like, it takes skill to blow someone's mind that frequently. That is freaking amazing. How could you even plan for that? Like, what do we know of the fortress? They got a Baby Grond. Fuck. Like, how do you even counter that? And then, this is what I was just talking about. We probably formed a bond with the Demolisher. He was amazing. I loved him at the start. And now he's on fire. And now he's probably going to die. And then that's the last we see of him. So, the Nemesis system is evolving. It isn't just about making enemies and putting orc against orc. It's about making friends and breeding loyalty as well. But back to that baby Grond. Can we just watch that one more time? Can we just rewind it? Look at that. Look at his face. He's like, shit. Oh my, it's ridiculous. Anyway, we'll play from here. Poor guy. You will be missed, sir.
Mounting armored cavalry allows us to ride through these flames unharmed.
And we get a Caragor now. There, I remembered. So it turns out the baby Grond was housing a Drake, which I think caught everyone by surprise. But, yep, as I predicted, and I think as everyone predicted, I mean, that statue was a massive spoiler in the Mithril edition. We do get to ride Drakes now. We get to fly them around, we get to burn everyone on fire. And if you think back to the Skyrim DLC when they let you fly around on a dragon, that was freaking shit, okay? This is how you do it. You let us breathe fire on our enemies, you let us do diving attacks like a freaking dive bomber, and again, how many different things have we seen in this siege that we could make we could make use of? There's so much variety, so much potential here for all these different experiences, and now we're on a freaking Drake, just cruising around setting orcs on fire. I mean, it really is outstanding.
Releasing and dominating the Drake lets us turn the Overlord's defenses against him.
This place is freaking humongous. My only complaint, I would say, is that it does seem a little too easy. Those orcs aren't actually shooting back at you. And then obviously lesson here, don't charge aground.
You've terrified the Flame of War. Now bend him to your will. The Ring of Power.
Oh, no, don't, no. We will find out what that says.
Now bend him to your will. The Ring of...
So yeah, again, you got the domination, obviously. That was obviously going to be a part of it. You're using the ring to do that. Shame, reduce level. So we could reduce his level, making him weaker. But does he still stay under your control? Why would you want to make someone under your control weaker? You can fight to the death, which sounds really cool. I don't know if the whole setup changes, where like there's like you're immediately encircled by orcs and it's just a proper one-on-one fight, or if it just continues. And then obviously we can recruit him.
Power allows us to dominate the minds of our enemies,
I am your son.
compelling them to join our growing army. Now with the power...
Shun, stay and fight, retreat. So I guess if there's a lot of the battle left to go, and he's weak by the time you convert him, then you can tell him to retreat. But honestly, they're orcs, he really gives a shit. Make him stay and fight. Shun? Maybe you didn't want to convert them and you change your mind. I don't know, it seems like a strange option to
Power
have.
of the new ring, and the help of our followers, we've defeated the War Chiefs.
We've defeated the War Chiefs.
We can face our ultimate nemesis in this fort, the Dragon
And
Lord
he goes full Vigo here. Full Vigo? Yep, there he goes. His Vigo moment.
Take what is ours.
With the Nemesis System, every Overlord faced by every player will be unique to their world, and the throne room itself has been customized by the Overlord as his personal combat arena.
So this sort of implies that each new overlord will have their own arena, their own set of challenges. So in this fight, if you've seen the trailer before, you know that with the grates at the bottom, he sets the whole place on fire. So it's just that every step is a dangerous one. You can take passive damage from the fire. So I'm actually excited to see how the different arenas shape out. And I'm guessing it's just going to be a lot of booby traps and things like that. But I want these fights to be impactful. And by that, I mean I want them to be a challenge. I want them to be difficult. So maybe in one arena you've got like swinging boulders everywhere, you've got like pendulums trying to hit you in the face. We want it to be a difficult challenge. They're overlords, they're supposed to be menacing, they're supposed to be indomitable. You want it to be a significant battle. And I know it's just a demo, so it's sort of unfair to judge it too much, but for me this battle was a little too easy, but I think that's purely just for the sake of the demo. And I mean, they're obviously not going to show you the player dying in the demo, but when the full game comes out, I want these fights to be a challenge, and I want them to be epic.
It's the Lord of Mordor himself, the Grave Walker. You've made a right mess, haven't you? My army slain. My Drake dead. So much pain. Well, I know a thing or two about pain. And yours.
So, he's got a Russian accent and wields a flame cannon.
Into this world.
Is it me or is his health not going down each time he stabs him? I do think this whole battle was purely just for the demo's sake.
Let me show you how it's done.
See, we took hardly any damage from that. It's clearly just a demo.
The Overlord defeated, Fort Saragost and this region of Mordor are ours.
And what a way to end it. Saragost is mine, and he just plunges. I don't know if that's like a massive banner, or if that's like just a bigger version of his hammer that you're slamming into his skull, but damn, that was satisfying. And then, I guess that whole battle was to show off how your warlords, your war chiefs, can help in the battle, which again, changes up the experience, because you'll have different war chiefs. But yeah, as I said, that is obviously just for the demo, and I think it will be much harder when we actually get to the full game.
Conquering the region rewards us with experience, loot, new followers, and resources. It also creates a personal base from which we train our forces, increase our power, and upgrade our defenses against Sauron's counterattacks.
So this is where it really gets interesting as well, because this game pretty much is like an army manager. Once we take the fortress, we have a shit ton of resources at our disposal, so we can then customize the garrison as we see fit. And they said Sauron's counterattacks. I really hope there are scripted moments when you'll find a fortress is under attack and you're the defender and you have to brace the gate and use baby grond and use drakes and use epic growl rock lobbers and things. If they can really incorporate all of that into a defense and not just make this game about assaulting fortresses, then it could be really fun. Because for me, I love defending. I'm a bit of a turtler. I love things like that. So if you get to utilize all those different elements in defending a fortress, it could be really fun. But yeah, it is like an army manager. You do get to customize your garrison, so you can have like a Caragor battalion to quickly rush out and hurt the enemy. You can have massive Olog High bracing the gates, so if anyone smashes through, Olog High just crushes them with their mace and all that stuff. Really, again, I hate to repeat myself, but the potential here, everyone's experience is going to be different. We're all going to be defending fortresses for our lives and attacking them and having all these great things. And it genuinely is so exciting. I cannot wait to play this game. So here, everyone that's black here could be assigned a position, I'm guessing. And then everyone obviously that's down on the floor is dead. You can replace them with someone else. So from this, I do think there will be... that you can defend your strongholds. And again, there'll probably be scripted moments. And I'm actually kind of hoping that there'll be a moment when the Nazgul assault the fortress. And you can actually go toe-to-toe with a Nazgul. That's what I want by the end of it. Killing War Chiefs is fun, but I want to go toe-to-toe with Sauron's greatest servants, and I really hope the game gives us the opportunity to do that.
Let's return to the army screen, where we can review our enemies and command our followers. We need to select one to become the new Overlord, so he can spread his influence throughout the region, creating an entirely original Nemesis fortress. This war chief is a necromancer. He will shroud the fort in sorcery to confuse and terrify attackers. This war chief is a beastmaster. He will allow us to turn the creatures of Mordor against our enemies. But we're going to promote Ragdug, the war chief who charged through that artillery assault and helped us bring down Ur-Hakon, the Dragon Lord. As a marauder, he can loot and pillage the region for us. With our new Overlord in place, we can upgrade the fortress, increasing its defenses and enlarging the size and power of our army.
Here, brothers!
The Nemesis System means that every element of this mission was dynamic and unique. No two players of the game will experience the same story.
We will spread his power!
This was just one step in our conquest of Mordor. One small example of the millions of unique stories players will create in Middle-earth: Shadow of War.
So yeah, you probably noticed the aesthetic difference in our new war chief, our new overlord, and obviously the fort itself. We're obviously trying to recreate the lands of Mordor in our own image, in the image of the Bright Lord. So it looked decrepit, it looked slightly rusty, but there was that hint of like elven architecture, especially in the color scheme. So that would be really cool once the siege is done and you can just go back and you can see the whole place changed. I really like that. Also, just to go back to when we were evaluating our choices for the Overlord, there were genuinely interesting buffs. There's that guy that could coat it in not Morgul sorcery but necromancy to terrify our enemies. Then there was that Beastmaster that could dominate animals for us, and those are interesting changes. They would seem like they have an impact on the battle. And I feel like the first game tried to do that, but they weren't nearly as impactful as the developers thought it was. But just from those examples they cited there, they really seem useful for assault or defense. It seems really useful. Anyway, then it just went into the ending, and then it's Shadow of War. For the Bright Lord.
For the Bright Lord.
So essentially it's an army simulator, is what it is. You're in a war against Sauron. And then it's got all the different editions here, which is... it's a bit of a turn-off, to be honest. I don't want to, like, play the game and have a lot of content locked away from me. But it's Warner Brothers, they're known for this. I'm sure there are people much more qualified than me to have a go at them. But that was the end of the trailer. And it was pretty much everything I thought it was going to be and more. And that one siege, that was just one siege. and yet there were 4 clear moments where I just shat myself out of excitement, and you can quote me on that if you want. But oh man, I'm so looking forward to the full game. Available August 25th, 2017. We have a release date, and it's really not that far away. So that should be real. I mean, I know what I'm doing in the summer. Everyone else goes traveling? Fuck that. I'll be playing Shadow of War. But anyway, thank you so very much for watching my rant. My rant under the guise of a review of the Shadow of War gameplay trailer. I think I will play it on my channel. So if you're looking forward to that, or you want to see me play it, then go ahead and subscribe. If you did enjoy the video, if you did like what you hear, if you did enjoy listening to the ramblings of some stupid British man, then feel free to drop a like as well. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the gameplay trailer. If there's something that disappointed you, or what you're particularly hyped for. What stood out as the most epic moment? Was it the baby Grond? Was it the Demolisher guy? Was it the final battle there? You tell me in the comments, because I am always, I always want to hear what you guys have to say. But anyway, until next time, thank you so very much for watching. Bye-bye. We might as well just play the next 11 seconds. But anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Well, razzle dazzle, that's the end of the video. Thank you so very much for watching. I just wanted to do a quick shout out to all of our lovely patrons for their support, and of course to our lovely captains of Jondor as well. You guys freaking rock. So if you want to support the channel, go and check out all those links in the description. I Twitch, I Twitter, I do other things, so please check them out if you want. It's cool. You won't regret it, probably will, I don't know.